New Gmail protections for a safer, less spammy inbox. I got it pulled up, but what the heck does this mean? I think it has to do with changing cold email
Means you're
sending
gonna be
limit.
out of business.
Well, that's a scary topic to begin, and let's start there. So, what do we know, Jeremy? Gmail once again is making an update in what is it, February,
Yeah,
spring
yeah.
24?
Doesn't Gmail love every February 24, 23, 22? I think they started in 19 with
Google
TensorFlow.
Spring Cleaning.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hmm.
Then they had the API. I don't know if you remember, like, everyone using their Gmail API has to authenticate, through a security auditing type of thing. That was a freaking mess. And, this year they are doing it again. They did the autowarmer last year. They keep on doing one thing every year. And this year they do something else. And, well, we should chat about it, right?
Yeah. So, what's the bottom line here? It's saying new requirements for bulk senders, but
That's you.
did did you read it? You're
Of course I
laughing.
read it. I even
That's
did
why
like a
multi-channel's
newsletter on
great.
it.
LinkedIn doesn't have this, but yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket, people. Anyways, new requirements for bulk senders or cold email. So you want to just go through a couple?
Well, yeah, we could definitely. Or I can, you could just stop sharing and I can just, tell you a few things about what I got out of this. So there's basically two or three things that you want to be aware of. The first one,
Jeremy, I'm gonna bug you. Put that 10
yes.
minute timer up. Put that 10
Ooh,
minute
that's a
timer up.
good point. All right,
Keep
sorry
us
about
on
that.
track.
Sorry about that. Let me just put it
All
back.
good.
But basically, the Google is going to introduce some limitation for everyone, every sender sending more than 5,000 emails a day, right? Or actually, yeah, it's 5,000 emails a day. And you may think like, hey, this is not for me. This is not that much and so on.
This is a
But
lot of volume. I don't do five. Yeah.
yeah, but hold on a second. Like, let's say how many contacts do you contact every week, right? Let's say, I don't
Okay.
know, like or
Thousand.
even every day, like you could say like 20 people. Let's say like you contact 20
Mm.
new people every day. That may like you may say like there's no way on earth I'm going to send 5,000 emails a day. But here's the thing, you have the follow-ups, right? So maybe two or three follow-ups. And then so if there is three
Mm-hmm.
follow-ups, then automatically you're going to send up to 60 emails a day. Right. And then you say like,
Mm.
Jamie, I'm still pretty far from, sending 5K. But then
Right.
then comes the ambiguity is we don't know what Google actually called a sender. And I don't think this is an email. I think it's a Google Workspace. And that means imagine you now have like 10 reps. Well, now you're
Mm-hmm.
not talking about like, 60 emails, but you're talking about like 600 emails
Okay.
a day,
Mm.
right? And then that adds very, very quickly because everyone will also do their own sort of like campaign and stuff. And pretty quickly, actually, you can turn up to 5,000. In fact, we do have like last time I checked, we have like a couple of clients that send more than 60,000 emails a day, right? And so they have like 200 inboxes and stuff like that in order
Mm-hmm.
to do inbox
Mm-hmm.
rotation and stuff. But 5,000 will actually be reached pretty quickly that way.
So I have this feeling that is cold email dead? Still, that answer is going to be no.
It's
Yeah,
called
really.
email dead.
Still, it's going to be
Every
no.
year it
Right.
comes back, right?
Yeah. Every year it does around springtime, but we get an early update from it. But I think the rules have changed yet again. We're going to have to get more sophisticated so that we can make sure that the right message ends up at the right person's inbox, not spam. Right. And in order to do that now, it's just the rules have been changed a little bit. But whether or not you agree with me there, Jeremy, we need to take a quick pause and hear briefly from our sponsors because today most B2B companies lack the time or expertise to turn cold prospects into sales qualified leads. That's why at salesbread.com, we're going to bring you one lead a day by sending ultra personalized cold emails and LinkedIn messages on your behalf. So you don't have to worry about prospecting, copy rating, genius, personalization, and everything in between. If you like what you heard, head over to salesbread.com, start a chat.
There you go. And if you want to do cold outreach yourself, just head over to quickmail.com and give it a go.
Giving it a go. Okay, so do you agree, Jeremy, that cold email sticking around, hanging on, but it's just different next year?
Yeah, it's clear that actually, well, I don't know how much different and how much impact is going to be for us, depending on what the definition of a sender is. But I think it's clear that Google probably put this in place in order to prevent the inbox rotation stuff, which we pioneer actually with Quick Mail, which is basically the ability to add multiple inboxes in order to send a bigger volume. So instead of having one inbox that sends, 1,000 emails a day, you have like 10 inboxes that send 100 emails a day, that sort of thing. But unless you go ahead and then create different Google Workspace for each of your inboxes, then they're all going to end up into the same domain. Now, there is a big caveat that you need to know about, is actually those 5,000 emails are only going to be calculated based on the number of emails that Gmail receives on Gmail inboxes, which means if you're actually contacting Outlook inboxes, then that doesn't actually add to this number, right? So if you send your 5,000 emails a day, but all of those 5,000 are on Outlook, then it's not going to impact you at all with your Gmail account. So it's really on the reception.
Okay. So I know that there's a manual way to check this, but is there a bulk way to separate Gmail inboxes and the
QuickMail does
rest?
it automatically. So whenever you import prospect, we automatically determine if this is a Gmail, an Outlook, or a different thing. And so therefore you can also filter by that and then contact them, only those type of things. So you could potentially do that, in the future. We do have actually a pretty cool feature, like, a small plugin, but it's like, that's what we do, right? But we have a cool feature that says match senders. And basically, you will say your Gmail inbox will contact only Gmail, your Outlook inbox will only contact Outlook, and so on, in order to get like better deliverability.
So so let's go through some early stage preventative steps that we can all take. So the first one you just laid out is maybe contact, know how many Gmail inboxes you're contacting per day, per month, and let's say adjust accordingly, right? That's the first maybe straightforward answer where you don't really have to change a whole lot other than separating, just moving some volume here and there, right?
Yep.
I got another one, and that may be a little bit more of a pain for setup, but in theory, you could just go from the one Google Workspace to now you have many Google Workspaces with subdomains and inboxes that are a lot more, what do you call them, in solos as opposed to together.
Yeah. But here's the thing, like, Jack, I don't think this is the biggest problem that we're going to face with this update. I think the biggest problem is that they expect every sender who reached this limit to have a maximum spam report of 0.3%.
Ain't gonna happen.
Which means only 3 people will flag you as spam out of 1,000 emails you send.
That's not possible. Not possible.
What do you think your number is? Like, like realistically speaking.
Okay, so I mean, put it this way: flag as spam. That's a really hard figure to get insights on. I don't know if Google changed that, but for some reason they like to keep it hidden. What's not hidden, though, is when doing email marketing, which, by the way, if you're not on a list every week, I send some goodies. But basically, I know my unsubscribe rate, okay? And 3 out of 1,000, if you're sending that kind of like unsubscribe, then you're doing a great job, and that's with an opt-in list. Do you see what I'm saying?
I know, I do. It's crazy, right?
That's not the thing. Yeah, so will there be a case where we can continue? No, that's an issue. I think it's just you have to stay under, what was the threshold, Jeremy? 5,000 per what?
Per day.
Per day. Yeah. So I just think the cut and dry answer is you must stay under that 5,000 per day, because this flagging a spam
at the same time, I do think that the flag spam rate is actually, impacting deliverability. We know that for a long time already, but it may be like even more now. Now, the interesting thing is you can actually know it. You can actually know it with Postmaster tool, which is a Google tool that will let you know what your spam rate actually is. The problem is like you need to have a really large volume per
Volume.
day, right? And so it's like kind of like a chicken and egg type of thing. Like, do you want to have like a high volume in order to know your flag? And if you don't, then you don't know your
Correct.
spam rate. So it's
Okay.
kind of annoying
So
stuff.
here's so far we've been doom and gloom, a little more doom and gloom.
Well, I'm not
But
finished.
that's what I'm talking about. All right, Jeremy, lighten the mood here. What do you know?
Well, I don't know. It's not about lightening the mood. I think like even the auto warmer, if you're thinking the auto warmer can save you, auto warmer being, basically fake engagement of emails between two inboxes, like, I'm just going to send like that. You're going to have to, I don't really think that's going to work, because if you're thinking that out of the 10 email you're sending, maybe one is going to flag you as spam, which is 10%, then you need 970 emails of auto warmer per day in order to, compensate your 30 emails cold outreach that you can send per day. It's going to be like madness. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the auto warmer is the tool to fix that problem. But
No.
Here's what it makes me think is those that are able to win with these new set of rules may actually find that their results go up. Why? Because there will be, in theory, a lot less competition in the inboxes in 2024. I think maybe half of the players will not get results with their old methods, which means the half that are following the rules and listening to the podcasts and getting the course at course.quickmail.io, they actually may see better numbers. That's what I'm thinking, Jeremy.
But okay, so here's the other alternative approach is you basically just ditch Google and then you actually open Outlook inboxes. Now, here's the problem is like their definition of sender is so blurred that we don't really know if this is any sender, meaning like maybe Outlook people sending to Gmail ecosystem with more than 5,000. I don't know. And do they actually consider it a domain to be the sender or just the email to be the sender? It's still blurry. So we don't really know before basically February, right?
Well,
That's a
I
lot of
think in the meantime,
annoying thing.
though, it will be prudent to check your volume. If you're confident you're not sending 5,000 a day, check, because follow-ups add up, right? And if you find yourself in that red zone over 5K, again, for your entire workspace, take a look at what percent of your prospects have Gmail inboxes and see if you could start early adjusting that accordingly. But thanks for making it a little bit murky, Google. We'll
Well,
figure out the rules on our own. Yeah.
the other thing that you could think of is basically just opening multiple Outlook accounts, right? And obviously 365. And so that way, even if Google considers sender to be a domain, they won't really be able to know that you have own multiple domains. So I guess there will be ways around it. But yeah, the other thing actually that they do introduce as well is they force you to have SPF, DKIM to be
Yeah, but
installed. But
we
we've
knew
been
about
doing that
that.
for
Yeah.
years already, right? And if you don't do it anyway, you're probably going to have like a trash, deliverability that sucks anyway. So I
Yes.
guess that one is a non-issue, I would say. So
We'll
keep it
do
up.
we'll do another update here as we get closer to that release. Thanks, Jeremy.
That's right. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate.